and producer over here at Bethesda, and lover of jokes, as you've seen as my comments to you guys in the chat. So very excited to be here in one of these.
Awesome, thank you. And then last but certainly not least, the master of protein himself, John. John, give yourself a quick introduction.
I am the master of protein. Hey everybody, I'm John Rush, the master of protein, and the creative director of Fallout 76. Yeah, happy to be here with everybody again. Sludge lung, recovering. I'll do what I can, but happy to answer all questions that I can. So let's go.
We appreciate that. Now, you might be wondering, why are we doing this one a bit early? Well, that's because next week is the American holiday of Thanksgiving, and we didn't want to lose out on this moment to kind of sit here and chat with you all and answer your questions. So we wanted to just take a moment to do that. So now with introductions done and pretty much housekeeping out of the way too, we're just going to go ahead and get things started. The first batch of questions is for everybody, so we're kind of just going to hear from each one of you about them, and they're actually from me. So my first question is, the last time we spoke was pretty much right before the camp revamp update, and then since then we've been able to see all of the amazing camps that people have created over the past few months. And I just wanted to get an idea of how you all have felt about that update now that it's been, what, almost 3 months since it's released? Let's go ahead and start with Bill.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've posted a few of these that I've seen online where people have just said, hey, here's my camp. And I'm like, that is the most amazing camp I've ever seen. We've seen fish, we've seen chainsaws, we've seen some really awesome haunted houses. People out there are super creative, and it makes me feel bad about how terrible my building skills are. So I try very hard, but you guys are amazing. You guys blow me out of the water. So, but yeah, it was really fun to see that, and also just the idea to relax those rules around camp building so players could build out some of these really amazing camps has made a huge positive impact on the game. So really excited to see what comes next in Burning Springs and see what people create out there.
Yeah, lifting the build rules, I think, made a huge difference in unlocking our building community's creativity, right? Letting them build what's in their mind's eye, running around, seeing lots of crazy camps way above the ground too.
Yep.
Lots of sky camps, lots of cool treehouse villages, lots of creativity going on. You know, we've Bethesda Game Studios has the best community in gaming, and definitely the most creative from what we've been seeing. So keep those awesome builds coming. Also, the great camp building contest that our wonderful community team positioned here on my monitor hosted over the last few months really showcased everyone's range of creativity. We saw some great stuff coming through there. So more of that in the future, I'm sure. But yeah, keep those great builds coming.
Yeah, sound like a broken record, seconding all that. I think it's great for us to have that variety in our updates where we're giving things for our building community and our creatives in there, and also taking the time to do things for our end game players. So I'm one of the part of the community that I love building things and customizing them. I'm not very good, but I do like to do it. So this update was awesome to see. And the floating tree houses have been my favorite. It's been so cool. So yeah.
Yeah, and then Danielle, what's our last camp contest for December? What's the theme?
It is the kindest. Is it dwellers or raiders? I don't know where we landed, but one of those ever known. So it's like really focusing on you, the community, and your camps where people can go and get resources and help each other out. That's kind of the focus for December. And of course, building in Burning Springs. So don't forget to do that.
For sure, for sure. It's going to be so awesome, I think, to see you all kind of make these pit stops along the roads of Appalachia and Burning Springs as we look to welcome people back into the game for a pretty large content update, which is always a bunch of fun. One other question that I had for this dev group before we get into all of your questions is that about halfway through September during the Invaders from Beyond event, something very different happened for a lot of people. People started seeing glowing mass drop from from the bosses at the end of the event. And I just wanted to give John, Bill, you all a quick little space to maybe explain to people what actually happened there. Because there was a lot of confusion. We intentionally were a bit silent because we didn't want to let anybody know. We wanted it to feel like a fun surprise. And it was really cool to see once people caught wind of what was happening, everybody jump back into the game and have these invaders from beyond events be stacked.
You or me, Bill?
I'll just start first, but mine's a little bit different. I'm just gonna say I think we probably just give Richard a hug because it was probably really tough to talk about how everyone else is getting glowing masks,
Yeah.
but not him. So it takes a lot of courage to say that out loud, and and so we love
I'm
you,
proud of
Richard.
you.
It's
I'd
good.
have you
It's
know
all
that thanks to this
Yeah.
fun event, I was able to obtain my first glowing mask. So
yes,
super
Nice.
proud, super proud. I
nice.
have
Good
a
work,
small
Richard.
collection now. Thank you, John.
You have a small collection of the same mask?
No, they're different masks. They're definitely different
Oh,
masks.
okay.
I have
Excellent.
Bigfoot, and then I have the glowing corncob mask. So one of the
Did you say
newer masks.
Bigfoot?
Yeah, I have a Bigfoot mask.
Nice.
Yeah. So John, you were going to say about this event as a whole.
Yeah, so I could kind of pull the curtain back a little bit for folks on live service game or about live service games. So we have a fantastic live team, fantastic community team, and what we've used. Well, so the benefit of being a live service is there is an opportunity to be able to kind of flip switches to have these sort of fun things happen spontaneously that players can hop in and enjoy. Maybe things that kind of go outside the boundaries of what you normally experience, or even sometimes outside the boundaries of common sense or lore in the game. But these temporary activations, I think, are a really fun opportunity to boost community engagement and just give our players something else to do. That's a lot of fun. Historically, what we've used those kind of live toggles for, toggle off, toggle on, is like, okay, if this feature is going to come out, we need to make sure that it's working well. We get QA going in there and they test it, everything's good. Sometimes when it hits live servers, things happen, and so we always switch to flip it off while we work on a fix and then hot fix. But we can also use those on-off switches for fun stuff too, like what we did with Invaders. Hey, we're going to flip this switch for 24 hours, and for 24 hours, you are going to get a glowing Fosnock mask off of General Zeta. That was done for a couple reasons. One, we felt bad for Richard, who's never gotten a glowing mask from Fosnock, so we wanted to put this in to really make sure that he was able to round out his collection of masks with a few glowing masks. So congratulations, Richard, you got some glowing masks. I'm so happy for you. But we also wanted to see how the community reacted to those kind of fun surprises, right? Those fun surprises give our community team here a great opportunity to engage with you all even more on socials with these kind of fun surprises. We wanted to see how players reacted. Players loved it. So easy to say there's going to be more of these coming up down the road. But what's nice about kind of building these up slowly, patch to patch to patch to patch, is that once we make them once, we always have them. It doesn't mean we're always going to use them, but next time Invaders runs, we could easily just go whoop, hit the switch. Everybody comes in and chases those glowing masks, or it might be something else or a few things. We'll have to see, but we've definitely got plans for a lot more of that. It's fun. It's part of a live service game.
Absolutely is. And I am excited to say that we have a Carl, and I'm just giving him a few seconds before I bring him up to the stage, because Carl, once you join, your mic will be activated. You'll have to activate your camera, but just want to make sure that you have a few moments to get ready before I actually bring you onto the stage. And so I'm going to say one more thing before we get started, because actually this first question is for John and Carl. But before we dive into that, we saw a lot of questions, with a lot of upvotes. So thank you so much for submitting your question and for upvoting about what's coming in the future for Fallout 76. We love that you want to know more about the game's future plans, and there will be a time and a place for us to talk about a lot of what the team has planned, because boy, do they have a lot planned for the game. So we don't answer your specific question. Just know we saw it. It's a great question, but we're just not talking about too far out things this moment in a time. So with that out of the way, let's bring Carl to the stage.
Raising his hand.
Yeah. Carl, are you there?
Hello. Okay, there it is,
Yay!
everybody.
Hey.
Oh wow, there he
Full
is.
crew is here. So, Carl, I'm gonna put you in the hot seat. Can you give yourself a quick introduction for the people who may not know who you are?
Sure. I'm Carl McKevitt. I'm lead designer on 76. I started as a quest designer on 76 a little bit before we launched. Worked on a lot of the post-launch DLC, Wild Appalachia, the Brotherhood of Seal stuff. Kind of moved over to helping out with our external folks, like certain like Nuka World on Tour and that stuff with the Double 11 crew, and then that transitioned back towards just the core team itself being a lead designer there. In terms of what does a lead designer do, I would say I'm John's crony. That's one way to put it. But mostly it's about trying to turn the creative vision into things that actually get into the game itself, and coordinating the different groups that we have there. So we've got level designers, quest designers, we got systems designers, and systems itself is like 5 different disciplines all at once. So corralling all those various folks together, getting the vision of the game into design. That's what I do.
Thank you. Thank you. And actually, before we go, Rebecca, did you want to speak to what a producer does?
Oh my goodness, everything. My thing I like to say about producers is on game teams, you know when you don't have a producer there very acutely because people don't know where things are disorganized, no one knows what they're doing. But if a producer is doing their job, you don't know they're there. I think of them kind of like the roadies of like if the team is a band, they're behind the scenes kind of making sure everything's running smoothly, things looking good. And sometimes the crusher of dreams to design, which, you know, if you have a good relationship with your design counterparts, obviously, it's never we can't. It's a here's what we can do, here's what we can't do based on the time we have, the people we have, and what else we all have planning. So project manager also it sits in that weird spot of player of the game, not knowledgeable of what we do in terms of design, helping to suggest to make the game better, looking at analytics, basically everything, and getting people to help make the game.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Our first question is from the aptly named John Fallout themselves. I would say that this is John's fake account, but they spell their name differently than you do.
John's fake account.
Yeah. So John Fallout says, why pick Ohio as a new location? And will there be any new expeditions? So I'm tossing this one to John and Carl, if one of you wants to start.
How about it, Carl?
Yeah, I'll take the Ohio part. So the part of it is kind of practical. It is a part of the map that we wanted to explore, right? It's a peninsula, but obviously there's all of Ohio beyond that. But we wanted to go across the river. We wanted to see that part of it. To me, the more interesting story was how we arrived at Ohio being a desert, which is pretty different from what Ohio is in the real world. Part of that came from, I'd say, desire to have more diversity in our map. Part of it to kind of hint on the nostalgia of New Vegas, something that, we obviously can't make our way all the way over to Vegas to try to get that feel from it. But that was an interesting kind of creative prompt to say, how can we take this lesser known part of the country, this, the Ohio on the Ohio River Valley area, how do we turn that into something kind of different and unique feeling from Appalachia itself? So yeah, that's where we landed there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah. Go for it, John.
I was going to add to that. If you think of, well, I'll say, we like to think of our Appalachia map as kind of like a theme park, right? So if you picture like a map of, say, Disneyland, you've got the different areas to the park, which are all very thematically different from one another, but cohesive in that they feel like one place, right? They feel like Disneyland, but there's Tomorrowland and they're all different. So we try to do that with our region. So when we're expanding into a new region like Ohio, like Carl said, we hadn't really done that kind of biome yet, right? And so having that happen up here in Ohio, it seemed like kind of an interesting creative choice. So yeah, what was the second part of the question? It was about expeditions.
Yeah, will there be any new expeditions?
Oh, I think so. I can't say when, but boy, do we have some fun ideas floating around for some new expeditions. Expeditions came about looking at player feedback, right, and kind of our elder players wanting that bigger challenge and that next step up in power. And so with Gleaming Depths, I think that we were able to accomplish that right on the first go. We learned some lessons from Gleaming Depths, I think, that we would apply to future raids. But yeah, stay tuned. I think there could be some more raids coming up.
Yeah, and Bill and I both chuckled, I think, at the same thing. The elder and elder players.
What?
Just you called our veteran players elder players, and Bill and I both chuckled just because
Why is that funny?
we're both probably just children, and we're like, oh, you're calling them old.
Oh, I don't mean that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Players
yeah,
with,
yeah, yeah.
with,
I said
with
all
big,
that to
with,
say
with big numbers next to their names. You know,
big levels next to their names.
our
So
big level
this
players. Yes.
This next question is for Rebecca, and it's from Cornstarch and Diesel Mage. They both kind of had the same question, and it's how come we can't explore all of Burning Springs? When seeing the PTS stuff, the map, we're showing there are boundaries that the players
Mhm.
definitely notice running into when playing Burning Springs during the PTS for the first time. So I was hoping that you could speak to those boundaries for the region.
Sure. Yeah. So for our first region expansion we ever did, Skyline Valley, we took the approach of having the entire border open so we could have folks come in from all different angles and seeing the region. It's great. So we got feedback on that of folks seeing everything at once. And we really, for this specific update, we wanted to see what happens if we go have this funnel to have it open up and feel like its own special part of the map. One of the things we're also very aware of too is whenever we do a map expansion, we're opening up a map and saying this is where content's going. It's really hard for us to then go back if we have to move player camps. So if we don't have a very strong, like, this is what we want to do with this space idea and we can't do it all at once, it's helping us to help you guys to make sure that this is what we want to do with this specific space at this time. I saw a lot of feedback about the river as well. We would much rather save that for something else that we might or may not have planned for it to make that a better experience, as opposed to opening it up and then you guys put camps and then, hey guys, you know this cool camp that you built? We're going to bulldoze it. And that's just not a good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely don't want to give something and then take it away in terms of like camp spaces and locations. Once you build a home there, we would love for you to feel comfortable in that home there. So I remember having this conversation too around the Skyline Valley update and My Outpost Zero, which we'll talk about a bit later in this AMA. Quick follow-up. Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead. Was the follow-up around this as well? I'll let you go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, kind of, but go for it.
Oh, I was going to say, just as a little caveat, it's been really great to see people care so much about Ohio. One of the jokes that I've made to the dev team internally is it is the most concentrated positive feedback we've gotten on that, and to see folks really excited about the region has been great. So yes, this is what we're giving for this specific patch, but you know, if we, in doing so, we're allowing ourselves in the future space to expand, to develop, and give awesome new experiences for you guys, as opposed to just bulldozing camps and having to redo it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is kind of tied to it because in the PTS article, we mentioned that the main quest line is kind of like it's a part one for the region, and we also saw a bunch of questions asking for a bit of clarification about what does the team mean by that. Rebecca, I think you kind of spoke to it, but Carl, since I worked with you closely on those PTS notes, can you add to that about this being part one of the quest line for the region?
Not in a way that I can disclose information.
This moment?
No, I can't.
So this is more of a confirmation that yes, the team does plan on doing more.
I'm not confirming nothing, Rich.
Okay.
But more than anything, I mean, most of it was just saying as the character Russ King is a character we all very much liked internally. His performance is awesome. His vibe is awesome.
Mhm.
And we know that Burning Springs doesn't let you take his story to completion necessarily. So it opens him up as a character that we could explore in the future.
There it is. Awesome. Thank you. And now to the next one. Kamazoots said their title is New Food Recipes. And this is for Rebecca. Will there be any new cooking recipes in the Burning Springs update? We have not had any new pies added to the game for a while, and we are criminally lacking in pizzas.
If the question is specifically on pies, then we don't have that for this update. But we do have new food recipes. We have our new fun friend or angry friend, depending on how you find them, of the Rad Hog out in the region.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a couple of recipes where you can make things with the Rad Hog, including some burnt ends, which is great. We also have a new plant in the region, the slipper cactus. I think we have 3 new recipes as well for those. It's a start. We'll see what the future holds. Maybe people will get more creative and come up with more recipes in the region trying to survive there. So
Yeah,
it is not the end of that.
awesome.
We're
This
never
next
adding
question-
pizza.
We're never adding pizza. I'm sorry.
Axolotl pizza, someone said. Oh my lord,
Oh,
you guys
maybe axolotl pizza. Actually,
That's
Wow.
villainous.
Sounds
That's-
amazing.
Hey,
One of each
Who's
axolotl.
this psychotic?
No.
Axolotl pepperoni, I think, is what we're pitching right now. Yeah.
Have them
I think that's-
DoorDash axolotl pizza to my camp.
Oh no.
I have to find
We don't
this
eat
person.
axolotl.
Somebody's getting banned.
Yeah. You guys, when we get pizza, then we'll get pickles too. I've been asking for pickles for forever.
Oh, it
Pickled
was Bill.
axolotl.
That's a good one.
Yeah, not bad.
Nothing.
It is bad. It is bad, and it's okay to say that it's bad. This next question is from Data 501. It's about radiation. They say, "Why is there no radiation in Burning Springs?" There is radiation, right?
There's
Yeah.
rats. Yeah, there's rats.
Yeah.
Is there a more specific version of that? Like,
Nope.
yeah. I mean, you can add your own radiation with nukes.
You
But there's
could.
also pockets of it as well. The water there is toxic. The junkyard in particular has got a few nice pockets.
Mhm.
I will say, I'll just throw this out there. It's something that we're considering when we're making public events now is to always consider pockets of radiation for our ghoul players to be in. So if you're ever in PTS and you feel like you don't have a good spot to go rad up during a public event, throw that feedback out there. That one's something we're keeping an eye on.
That's a great call. Yeah. All right. So this next question is from FMK. I don't know where I pulled X from. It's about vaults in Burning Springs, and this is a group question. So I'm throwing this up to whomever has the answer. They say, one of my favorite things in Fallout is seeing what happened to the vaults. I love exploring their ruins and finding their secrets or running into groups that turned a vault into their home. Considering how much creative potential these places have and how well they can tell stories or become hubs for future content, can we expect new vaults to show up in the new region later on?
I can answer the why is there no vault in Burning Springs part, but as for the future, I'll throw that over to John. We had looked into whether we wanted to try to include a vault, maybe on the edges there. Part of it is the precedent of where vaults would have been. Ohio itself, this area of Ohio, rather near the river there, that's somewhat low population. We also covered vaults pretty extensively in the previous region with Vault 63, and we wanted to do a little bit more of a wasteland focus for Ohio, keep the story above ground a bit. But yeah, John, for what we could do there in the future.
In Burning Springs specifically, I can't really say at this point. However, new vaults down them country roads, quite possibly. But yeah, really no specific answers for you today.
Awesome. Thank you both. This next question is about Gleaming Depths, because Burning Springs is introducing some changes to the Gleaming Depths rating experience. And it's from Fang, and I'm going to throw this one up to the group too. And Fang says, Will we see any changes to the proposed raid loot changes, including the weekly cash? Currently, the overall changes seem to make the problem of getting people to clear the raid instead of farming the first boss much worse, while overall decreasing people's ability to earn 4 stars. With all the feedback in the channel for it not having any feedback on our current concerns over these changes, there's a real worry that it will go to live as proposed. And before we kind of get going with this, I want to take a moment to add a little bit of clarification to the weekly cash reward that players can receive for clearing the Gleaming Depths raid. So that cash provides a 4-star armor piece, power armor piece, melee weapon, and ranged weapon. So 1 clear of the Gleaming Depths raid will provide you that challenge reward, which gives you that's 4 pieces of 4-star loot. This wasn't exactly the clearest it could be in our PTS in our article. It's more clearly laid out in the upcoming patch notes that you'll see on December 2nd. But I saw this question. I was like, this is a perfect time for us to clear that up. But if the team wanted to say anything else about the upcoming Gleaming Depths raid changes and loot changes, please. The mic is yours. Or did I just nail it?
I think.
Well,
I think
the intent was to encourage people to play through the whole experience, right? It's like if you want to farm one of the bosses, okay, but you're so much more incentivized to go through the whole experience, find a couple friends and go through and play the whole thing. So we wanted to make sure to reward players that did that. As far as the specific reward refactoring, Carl, you and I had spoken with Systems Design quite a bit on that. Do you have any more info on how that was arranged?
Yeah, I mean, part of it was definitely the desire to make other aspects of the raid feel appealing and not just kind of focus in on that very first fight. I'll say kind of as a blanket statement that we are keeping a close eye on the very, very long discussion that came out of that. We have that thread up on the PTS channel. We're also taking a look at how it behaves once the game goes out as well. There's a lot of questions that we have around raids in terms of how we want that to behave with our player base and how it's currently performing. This is a relatively large change that we do feel we need a little bit of time out there to see how it behaves. I would expect that this is a thing that we continue to iterate on with future updates. And the goal is, I think, generally we want more players to feel like they can take on raid content, but we don't want to remove that very specific challenge that our high level players are getting out of it. Especially any sort of content that brings players together in coordination, super positive. So we don't want to trivialize it, but we also don't want to shutter players out. So we've got a lot of plans for how we might want to address that in the future. For the immediate next steps in Burning Springs, it is more of a wait and watch with the current plan that we have going out there. I would expect us, though, to be respondent to that as we see it out in the wild.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. You've heard enough from me. I'm going to pass it over to Danielle to take us through the next 2 sections of questions from the community.
Yes, thank you, Richard. Okay, so these are under our more miscellaneous questions. So we'll have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. The first question is from Zeradan about additional character slots. And this is for Bill and John. So at the AMA for the Ghoul update, there was a mention of additional character slots that was walked back a bit. Is there any chance that these might be coming about with Burning Springs?
Yeah. With the Ghoul, we had additionally planned on having that just to make room for if they had used all their character slots and then they wanted to make room for an extra one for a Ghoul that they could. We did end up holding on to that. We have been discussing additional character slots for down the road. I don't believe we're opening any new ones up for Burning Springs. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, nothing new for Burning Springs.
Yeah. But yeah, for down the road, quite possibly. I apologize for the confusion around the Ghoul update.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, it's good to know we're all thinking about these things. So, all right. Next question is from MuleBot for Carl and Rebecca. So, will we continue to see new cannery recipes being added? We haven't had any since it was introduced, and would like to see all of the recipes in game as cannibal at some point in time.
I
Oh,
think
they
we
added
do
some
have.
extra stuff.
So just on that, I'm not sure
Yeah.
the specifics there. I do believe that we intend to continue going with that.
Mhm.
We saw it was a popular part of the season that came out, so I would anticipate we'll continue to support that. I'm not sure if there's anything specific for any particular patch, but once there is, we'll make sure we follow that up inside the vault so that you guys have a heads up on it.
Awesome. And then there was a little bit of a follow-up, sort
Mind
of
if I add a bit
unrelated.
more Sorry, do you
Sure,
mind if I add
yeah.
a bit more info to the character question? So, yes, additional character slots we've talked about for down the road, but also something that we've talked about quite a bit are the reasons that people are making these additional characters. And a number of those extra character slots are being used for like mules, right? Characters just holding on to things to compensate for stat space. So there are also discussions on how to alleviate that, making it so that players don't have to lean so much on having alternate characters to hold stuff as much as they are now. So we're always talking about that too. I would anticipate down the road looking for kind of solutions to that coming from both sides, right? Like possibly more character slots and possibly ways to help you kind of get a better wrangle on the reasons why you are making those extra characters. I know people want them also for role playing, and they just want to try new characters too. So not discounting that, but anyhow, just wanted to give a bit more background to that answer rather than just saying, "Yeah, maybe."
It's much appreciated. Okay, so there was a follow-up to this question that's kind of unrelated to the cannery, but let's see. So, additionally, will we continue to see the old nuclear winter plans make a comeback? We've seen some added to the Spooky Scorch and would like to see the trend continue.
I think I can speak. Oh, John, did you have something you want to say?
Go ahead.
Just as a general note for this, we're always looking for ways with our older content to where it makes sense as we're developing new things to find opportunities where it fits and we can bring those things back, kind of just generally. So obviously we see, how the noise, or not noise, I should say, excitement around nuclear winter of that too. And those, so we're looking for opportunities to balance those. But John, I can go ahead and let you add some detail to that if you have more.
Oh yeah, I mean, really, what you were saying, we're always looking for ways to bring that stuff back. It's amazing when you look at all of the assets that have been made for Fallout over the past, 15 years or so. It's going through our library of things. It's like a Hollywood backlot of just stuff. So much cool stuff that while we would love to just say, hey, everybody, here's everything, we need to find the proper avenues to release that and the proper tempo to release that. So that's definitely on our radar. But the specific means of vending that to you all is TBD.
Awesome. Thank you. And let's see. The next question is from Ravnir. I apologize if I didn't get that right. This is for Bill. Hey guys, the native version for Fallout 76 has now been announced, and I'm really happy about it. Will it still be possible to play together with other people on last gen? What can we expect to see with this update?
Yeah, just that. So whether or not you're upgrading from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 or Xbox One to Xbox Series S or X, you're going to be able to play with all of your friends on that platform. So nothing changes there. All the same stuff. same achievements. You've got all your trophies, you've got your achievements, you got your characters. Yeah, nothing's changing there for you.
And the second part of that question was kind of what they might expect from the next gen.
At the initial release, just that, like making sure that those next gen versions are actually playing well and performing well on those next gen consoles. And then there'll probably be some future optimizations that we make down the road. But right now, just getting them out and making sure they're performing right.
And to add to that a little bit, in between now and when that comes out, we've got some lighting and rendering improvements that are making their way into the game that players are going to notice as well. So sort of a iterative process that kind of really sort of comes to a head when we release those next gen versions. But most major patches from then until now should include improvements along the way too.
Yeah, and just to be specific, we are making the change over to DirectX 12. So that'll be one of the major updates that goes along with these new versions.
Very cool. Okay. Thank you very much. Next question is from Rainy Day in Space. Looks like this will kind of be for the whole group. So we have recently seen a rebalance of all the weapons and associated perks. With the new mods being added to Burning Springs, will we be seeing an armor or armor legendary rebalancing coming? I lied. This is actually for you, Richard.
I think if Carl wants to speak to it, he definitely can.
Yeah.
Because I was just gonna...
There is indeed an armor rework underway. It will be in the PTS for somebody to play test at a later date. Don't want to commit to anything just yet. That is the next thing that's on our radar is armor.
Yeah.
And so people know these changes aren't done to punish specific types of players or nerf certain, that's not the purpose of these at all. The purpose of these changes and adjustments is to make sure that you all have as many choices as possible for how you want to play the game, rather than having to feel like you're getting locked into one specific play style.
Exactly. Yeah, I just had a chat with the team about these changes too. So you'll probably be hearing about them sooner rather than later. So just stay tuned.
Awesome. And this question is from Coffee for John and Bill. It's great that a new workshop location has been added to Burning Springs region. Its design is perfect for Fallout 4 nostalgia, and I'm looking forward to seeing it on the live servers. However, the workshop system itself is outdated and hasn't been updated in 7 years. Are there any plans to rework the workshop system in the near future?
I take this one, Bill, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Where do I start? Such a good question. So many ways to approach this question. So many different answers I could give. Okay, I'm going to go back to Nuclear Winter. I bet you weren't expecting that. Okay, so Nuclear Winter, right? We introduce a mode to players where they're taken off of the Appalachia map that they can influence and whatnot, and put in an arena where they fight one another. And yeah, it was fun. There goes my phone. It was fun, and I view that feature as successful. However, those big types of features that run in parallel with the core service require a huge team to keep going, not just to make sure that they're free of bugs, but also to keep expanding on the different game modes and populating with new rewards and challenges for our players. So what we've come to learn about our player base since the launch of the game is, you've probably heard me say this before launching Fallout 76, we were all under the impression that, it's a multiplayer Fallout, it's a post-apocalyptic environment, and people are going to want to kill one another. Let's give them these workshops that they fight for the resources, and let's give them Nuclear Winter so they can kill each other even more. But what we've learned is that our player base wants to really just help one another, right? They want to give new players things. They want to even give existing players things. Thank you for all the axolotls I've gotten from you all in the past, by the way. They've tasted really good. and they want to show off things that they've done, right? Like all the cool camps they've built. Now, that's true for a majority of players. I recognize there's also an appetite for players that want to compete in PvP type activities. I don't think Nuclear Winter in the end ended up being the right way to go about it. However, you mentioning workshops is really interesting. I've been paying a lot of attention to workshops lately, playing through a ton of them, and they're fun. Yeah, they haven't been touched since launch. I think the core idea of them is fun, but I also think that there could be a possible angle to play those up down the road in a non-punishing PvP, maybe even kind of a factions kind of angle, right? Just high-level thinking, nothing concrete. What we're doing, though, is looking at our Appalachian map and looking for ways where on the map, in the map, players can go and participate in some sort of PvP activity. Again, we don't want it to be punishing. We want it to also fit within the fiction, have it be maybe faction-based, definitely resource-based, and not pull people from Appalachia and put them into a different service, essentially running two games in parallel, right? So workshops could be an interesting angle for that, to be determined. There's other ways to do that too, which we've discussed. We have discussions going on about that. We've got some plans in the roadmap for some of these types of content beats, but I'll definitely be looking forward to discussing that more with you all down the road when we have something a bit more concrete. I know you just asked about workshops. That's actually been hot on my mind lately, and sort of my whole thought process as we figure out what to do with those down the road.
And just to add on to that too, just some inside baseball for folks for Burning Springs. This was something we also actually talked about, explored for workshops. There was the challenge of, can we do this? Can we add it? And then also, what changes do we want to do? So we've got those creative juices already flowing. It's movement. We just decided for this specific patch, we wanted to have a bunch of everything in there and to do this correctly. So giving it more time to bake in the oven a little bit.
The workshops are fun, you know? It's like all these really, the spaces are really unique. Like even the most recent, the drive-through or the drive-in movie theater in Burning Springs, it's really distinct. I love playing through those. I love the big, the workshops in Ash Heap. So yeah, there's definitely something there. We are not done with workshops.
Was that question from the coffee?
I believe it was, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
We
the
should
one
just
and only coffee.
Only one coffee,
just
Carl.
I'm just making sure. I do want to just express my eternal gratitude to coffee.
Coffee, I apologize for
I believe-
Carl's
Even
disrespect.
questioning at this point.
Yeah, I believe
What a
Coffee's
hero.
government name on Discord is Coffee888. So let's use that
Yeah.
properly. So I understand where Carl came from.
Mhm.
True,
Just making
true,
sure.
true.
He's legend, pure legend.
I
Agreed.
agree, Carl. Yeah.
Good
Okay,
question.
on to the net. This one is from Kakash. This is for John. Salutations, dev team. There are some positively ancient bits of content in the game that really hasn't been touched as the game has gotten more and more updates, particularly brewing. Biv deserves more brews. The My Personal Terminal, very outdated. And the creature taming, the effective precursor to camp pets. Has there been any consideration about sprucing up some of this old content?
Yes, absolutely. So we talk about this all the time when scoping out or planning out future roadmaps and timelines, right? So we have a roadmap and a timeline set out for years in advance from now. And those are made by looking at player feedback, the kind of broad strokes, and seeing what kind of impactful, they don't even have to be big, what kind of impactful changes that we can add to the game to help kind of make all of these loops, all of these different activities that we have in the game a bit more cohesive. So we have a long list, right, of things that we would like to do, and the process there is is weighing those interests against the tempo of the timeline for the years to come. So your requests you made, they're very specific. Those are some things that we have discussed and talked about. Where they fit, either TBD or I just can't say at this point. But we are very mindful of existing systems in the game that could use, a bit of a refresher. One that comes to mind for me, and again, I'm not sure when we would do something about this, but how many of you out there know about the U-Minute maps, right? You go to the vending machines, you get the U-Minute maps, brings up a little circle and you go and you mine for it's a lot of people don't even know about that, but it's really cool and it's really fun. And I think sometime down the road, there's room to play that up in some ways.
Love that. Now I want to find the maps. I've never done that.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? It's there's a number of those vending machines set up in the world. If you go to, let's see, do you recall where one is, Carl?
Should be by. I was about to say the name murmur.
It's
Yeah,
Murmur.
murmur.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
G's and H's in there. Okay, they can be but there should be
They're
one
out
there.
there. Yeah, it's so funny. Talking about our map as being kind of like a theme park. When I go to Disneyland, right, and I'm walking around, it's I see the big things to do, the big roller coasters, the big rides. But what I've always found the most fun is when I'm kind of peeking around the corners, and I'll find like the secret entrance to Club. What is it called? 33, I think, or what is this? There's this little sideshow going on with animatronic birds. It's all these side things to find. 76 is full of that stuff. It is full of it, and a lot of it people don't know about. That's okay. That's okay, because then there's stuff for them to discover. But we do talk about some of those that could use a bit of polish or a bit of a nudge or a bit of an update. So keep that feedback coming. It is on our radar, and we do talk about it.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Right. What do we got next? So now we're going to talk a little bit about caravans and milepost zero. So this first question in this category is from Luck, Bounty Hunter, and Scuzz1204. So this is for Carl and John. With Milepost Zero shutting down and the exclusive items from caravanning being moved to Highway Town, is there any chance of the NPCs unique to the location ever appearing again, like Theo or Marley? It'd be interesting to see what becomes of them after this update.
Yeah. Do you mind if I answer the first part of that, Carl, and then I'll pass to you?
Yeah, go for it.
So, Milepost Zero had to clear out of Skyline Valley. They were kind of forced out in a way. You're going to find out why and how pretty soon. However, those vendors still have to make a living, right? They still need caps. They have to eat too. So we have made plans for them. They have been moved, and now I'm going to pass it to Carl to discuss the vendors.
Yeah, so I mean, the simplest one is that Wendy, who actually wasn't even available in live, Wendy's available on Highway Town now. They're characters that were near and dear to us. As content comes up, there'll always be the question of if we can wrap somebody into a story there to keep that story moving forward. So it's going to be a balancing act, since it becomes legacy content that not everybody's going to have the same context that a new player would have, or other way around. New players wouldn't have the context that the old players would have, but it is still an opportunity to let our older players be. I did it too. Sorry, Bill. Our
Advanced.
well-established players be able to
Veterans.
appreciate veterans.
Veteran, yeah.
There you go. Be able to appreciate content that was there before. So I would say never say never to seeing them again. In some cases, we probably. A character like Theo was pretty rich in the amount of things that were implied with his background. To bring him back and just kind of have him be a vendor who was selling things felt like a bit of a waste. So there's always the opportunity to dig into those stories more in the future.
I will add this. They didn't leave by choice.
Yeah.
It became too dangerous for them to be there.
Ooh.
They do.
A lot to think about. Thank you both. This next question is from Trashy for John and Bill. When the caravan update happened, many places in Skyline Valley became non-build areas. Any plans to open those back up? Skyline Valley is so beautiful, and I'd hate to see all of that go to waste.
What do you say, Bill?
Yeah, so we're not, but stay tuned because we have a good reason.
Yeah.
All right.
I can add to that though. That good reason will allow you to build in more places.
Yes.
So that's something
Yes.
we've already changed. Yeah. So stay tuned.
And to note, and to note too, I saw something in the comments of like, I wish you guys could tell us exactly what you're doing. So the reason we don't is we want to make sure that when we're saying it, we have that high level of confidence and we can tell you when exactly it's coming out and that we're confident about that state. So we're not doing that to be, teases or, we're providing the best experience we can for you and letting you guys know when things are coming out to that high level of confidence, just so expectations are set properly too.
I just don't want to lose
very
my
important.
job. That's the main reason.
Yeah, and yeah, there's a there's a laser always pointed at us saying if you break your non-disclosure, the laser
You're in a
goes
safe
off.
space, Carl. It's okay.
You don't have the laser, John?
Nobody's recording this
Okay.
except for some people.
It's an orbital laser called the Wrath of Todd.
Yeah.
The Wrath of Todd.
Oh goodness. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. This is from Nanotechnician HQ. Hey Carl, can the tunnel be made into player housing so at least it's not 100% abandoned?
That's a good question. Actually, I don't believe we considered that. And when you say player housing, I assume we mean a shelter. I don't believe we have talked about that. We have talked about other ways we could use it in the future. I don't think we've settled on one that we're happy with just yet. Turning it into a shelter is an interesting idea. I'll bring that up with our team.
Yeah, I would build in that. That would be cool.
That's a complicated. I mean, there's a certain
Mm.
group in the game that might not take kindly to that. We'll see. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
I don't want to
Take
get
this
us
offline.
So it's heating up.
We'll
down
circle back.
there. It is.
Yeah.
All right. So, oh no, not last question. I thought it was. Oh, actually, maybe it is. Yes, this is the last question. From Rocket. This is for John, but maybe the whole group. I loved Skyline Valley. Burning Springs is the new hotness, but its coming also brings the shuttering of Milepost Zero and caravans, and Skyline Valley is about to become very desolate. The region was an incredible addition to the map only a year ago, and some of us felt it already didn't get enough love. Can you talk to us about the plans for Skyline Valley, since it's now, aside from one world event, one nuke event, and one seasonal event, there's no ongoing endgame content left in the region? So what do we got going on?
Yeah, so we can't talk about Skyline Valley. However, as far as future stuff, what we can say is we love Skyline Valley too. And we are certainly not done with it.
It's a great answer, John. It's a great answer.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I told you all at the start of this, we had a lot of questions about future plans. Future. Everybody, it's probably because, we're nearing the end of the year, holiday season's coming up. Everybody wants to know what's coming later down the line. So definitely Skyline Valley, more plans coming for it. So stay tuned.
I'm not used to
All right.
getting compliments from you, Richard.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, I feel like we need to catch Richard up on a few things following this.
All right, so let's wrap this up, gang. So since we're heading into the Thanksgiving holiday, there was a question from Fearless Blue. Would you rather fight one giant turkey or 30 small turkeys?
30 small
This is for
turkeys,
it.
more feathers exploding.
Okay. John's in. Bill. Bill, pick one.
Oh,
You're
you're
muted,
muted.
Bill.
You muted.
30 small ones. Yeah, sorry.
30 small ones? Okay.
Turkey's got him.
Danielle, go. One giant
That just
turkey
sounds
or
fun.
30 small turkeys?
I would do one giant turkey if I can bring some friends along and we
Nope,
just
it's
take them
just
down.
you. It's just you.
Oh, well,
You did.
I'll stick with my answer.
That's what I'm talking about. Rebecca.
Are we talking about a turkey or a thrasher? I think want to clarify that.
Oh,
I saw turkey in the question.
I
Turkey?
saw turkey.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be brave. I think one giant turkey would be very fun. I think I could make it my friend, and that would be my new mount to go around and travel places. That'd be awesome.
yes.
Your chocobo.
I think Carl.
Yeah, little chocobo.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's a trick question because thrashers do not travel solo; they always travel in groups. So 30 small turkeys is definitely better. But if we're saying it's like literally a giant, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They're still pretty mean. There's go with the small turkeys, I think.
Tame
I've
it.
had
Could be a
pretty bad
friend.
experience. Pretty bad experience with turkeys in real life, Richard.
Well, you know,
What an
it's
insensitive question, Richard.
I'm crushing it. Apparently, I'm getting a lot of great feedback from my
Real bad
colleagues
experiences
here.
with turkeys.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. But before everybody goes, I just want to say two things. The first one being, before the season ends, just wanted to call out if you were interested in obtaining the player title for Caravans, make sure every character who you want the title on has completed the quest A Bump in the Road. Completing that Caravan intro quest will give your character the player title Caravan Investor immediately upon logging in when Burning Springs launches. So I just wanted to make sure I called that out to everybody. We're going to make a post about it too, because I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh no, I missed out on it. I didn't know." So make sure you tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell everybody
Tell
who
everybody.
you think may be interested. And then the second thing I had, but it has flown out of my mind so quickly that I don't think I'll ever be able to recapture it. So we're just going to end it there, folks. Thank you so much for coming out
Right.
and for joining us. Thank you to the awesome devs who came and gave some great answers. We hope you're looking forward to Burning Springs on December 2nd. Stay tuned for those patch notes. And yeah, that's it, gang. Happy Thanksgiving for those celebrating.
Bye, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.